Same light, same wall box, but now you can fade it from bright to a low glow. This is how to wire a dimmer switch. On screen is the finished dimmer wiring diagram, already drawn and dimming the light. Power comes in, the dimmer trims how much reaches the bulb, and the room follows the knob. Stay with me. You'll see exactly where each wire goes. Why a dimmer has leads, not screws. Why it gets warm, and the one circuit where a plain dimmer will burn out. Here is the first thing that trips people up. A dimmer does not have screw terminals like a normal switch. A standard single-pole switch gives you 2 brass screws and a green one. You wrap a wire under each. A dimmer is different. It has wire leads, short pigtails hanging out the back. Usually there are 3. A line lead for the incoming hot, a load lead that runs out to the light, and a green or bare ground. Some dimmers add a 4th lead, a red one. That's the traveler, and it only matters on a 3-way dimmer, where 2 controls share 1 light. On a plain single-pole dimmer, you'll never use it. Cap it off. So the job is simple. Match lead to wire. Line to hot. Load to the light, ground to ground. Quick pause. This exact dimmer diagram is free to open in your browser at CircuitDiagramMaker app. No install, no sign up. The link is in the description. Open it and follow along. Right, the wiring path. Wiring a dimmer switch is really just replacing a switch you already have. Take a working single-pole light switch. Pull out. The dimmer drops straight into its place. Whatever hot was feeding the switch now lands on the dimmer's line lead. From there, the load lead carries that hot out to the light fixture. And on line, out on load, the dimmer sits right in the hot leg, exactly where the old switch was. The neutral never touches the dimmer. It runs straight from the light back to the panel, untouched. And the ground bonds the metal box and the fixture, so a fault trips the breaker instead of waiting for your hand. Line in, load out, neutral home, ground for safety. Same 4 jobs as a light switch, just leads instead of screws. Put your hand on a dimmer that's run a while. It's warm. That is normal, and here's why. A dimmer doesn't just block current. It chops the power waveform many times a second, and the electronics inside soak up a little energy doing it. That lost energy becomes heat. It's why dimmers want breathing room, and why cramming several into one box lowers what each can safely handle. One more thing that actually matters today, the bulb. Old incandescent dimmers were simple. LED bulbs are fussier. If you're dimming LEDs, use a dimmer that says LED compatible, often a trailing edge type. Pair an LED bulb with an old leading edge dimmer and you get flicker, buzz, or a bulb that won't go low. Match the dimmer to the bulb. It just works. Which brings us to the mistake that actually costs money. Putting a plain dimmer on a 3-way circuit. A 3-way is where 2 switches control 1 light. Top and bottom of a staircase, say. That circuit has a traveler wire, and it needs a dimmer built for it. Drop an ordinary single-pole dimmer into a 3-way, and the best case is it simply won't work right. Worst case, it runs hot and fails early. If both ends need to control the light, you want a 3-way dimmer. I've linked that video below. One note before the demo. This video explains the circuit and the diagram. For real installations, follow your local electrical codes and use a qualified electrician. Let's see it live in a browser. This is the free editor at CircuitDiagramMaker app with the dimmer circuit open. Trace 1 loop. The supply drops into a breaker. The hot runs to the dimmer. The dimmer feeds the light. And the neutral runs home with a ground for safety. Exactly the path we just drew. Every wire here is a real electrical connection, not just a picture. Select the dimmer, and its properties appear on the right. Real pins, real labels. And you can build one from nothing. Search the symbol library, breaker, dimmer, light fixture, ground. Click to place each one. Then press W for the wire tool and click pin to pin. The wires route themselves at clean right angles. And here's the part one love. It simulates. Hit simulate, choose the DC operating point, and run it. The built-in engine solves the whole circuit and drops the real numbers straight onto the diagram. Voltage on the line side, current down the hot leg, through the dimmer, into the light, and back on the neutral. You can watch the loop close. The same current that leaves the supply comes all the way home. Real physics right on your drawing. So here's the whole thing one more time. A dimmer replaces a single pole switch and sits in the hot leg. It uses leads, not screws. Line in, load out, ground to ground, neutral untouched. Expect it to run warm. Match the dimmer to your bulb. And never put a plain dimmer on a three-way. Want it to stick? Open the same dimmer circuit free in your browser, run the simulation, and rewire it until every wire makes sense. The link is in the description. No install, no credit card. New to switches? Watch the single pole light switch video first. Controlling one light from two spots? Watch the three-way next. And subscribe for a new wiring diagram explained every week. See you in the next one.